Right, this is a bad cover. This is Killer Fool issue 5, and this series has covers that range from quite good to properly hideous ones like this. It's entirely the backdrop too. It makes it look like this is a story where Killer Fool downloads himself into the internet and murders paedophiles that are talking to babies on online chat rooms. The foreground, Killer Fool and one of his victims, that's not bad. It is inked by Green Man as well, so it's a shame that it went for the horrible background. Green Man is one of what I would call the best looking art in comics. Uncanny Excellent Men 254 and 255. Alan Silvestri and Green Man. The idea is, if I keep mentioning Alan Silvestri in these videos, it will be harder for me to forget that that is his name now. We start this one off with a bang, by which I mean we started off with some gangbangers. For years I was confused about that. That confused me. The term gangbanger. I thought it meant gang rapists. And I was confused as heck why Ice-T was so calm about gang rape on Law and Order Special Victims Unit. Killer Fool executes these gang members as if they were guilty of gang rape. And one of them, the one up front, I reckon one of the Galactical Guardians pinched his style. This scene is one of those ones where it is immediately pretty apparent to me that Killer Fool is being unfair. He is slaughtering teenagers. It says the hardest one there is 19. This gang have kicked people in. They aren't a nice gang. They are not the Care Bears. But that their age doesn't concern or matter to Killer Fool. It is a stark reminder that he is especially cold and cynical. He then corners them and starts slowly blasting each one, at which point one of their Mams shows up and starts whacking Killer Fool with a rolling pin. This is the funniest scene of the issue. The Gimp being beat up by Big Mama. Then Killer Fool also murders her. And we have a graphic murder where a kid is bisected. And the artwork stood out here, and I wondered if this is a good artist or if it is a bit of an amateur artist. Maybe the only way we could ever get away with severing a teenager in half was with art this week. For the most part, the art has been okay in the previous issues, but it notably dips here on the one scene where maybe it dips with a reason. The thing I wanted to talk about was an idea I stole from back issue. It was either the Steve Gerber tribute issue, or there was a vigilante one later. I mentioned it in an earlier issue of the series, whichever it was. I like looking at stuff like that when it is a series like this. there's a lot that you can read into Killer Fool. There's a lot of meanings or even inspirations. And one comment I have seen repeated about this series is that one of the great things is that Steve Gerber never actually makes a statement about Killer Fool's actions. That he doesn't say if they are a good thing or they are a bad thing. That it's never outright said, and that it's left to the reader to insert their own take on if they are good or bad. It's not just back issue. There's a few blogs and whatnot that have said the exact same thing. Now we have Killer Fool get a new job, and so he also quits Burger King, which is not actually going with the point I am making at all. We also have quite a lot of stuff with drug dealers. I'm not into those parts as much, although they mention the Punisher here. I was a bit taken aback by that. This is set in the Marvel Universe. The Killer Fool identity is entrenched in various Marvel books, and we saw that recapped in issue 1. But outside of that, the series has avoided acknowledging the wider universe. Spider-Man does appear in issue 8, mind you. Before I reject the hypothesis that this series doesn't condone or validate the actions of its star, I should finally mention the production error that endures for the series. Whenever we see the email interactions, we see the computer monitor, but there is a mix-up, I would guess, and the text is black and the monitor is black. You can never read any of it. I tried blowing this up and lightening it and tweaking many of its attributes. There is no legible text visible on these bits. So, here we are. My response to if this book approves of Killer Fool's actions. We have a prostitute. She has HIV, and her doctor is walking down the street with her, urging her to stop turning tricks because she will spread the disease. Killer Fool overhears this, and so he murders the hooker, to which the doctor exclaims, "I wonder how many lives he just saved." That is Exhibit A. And then we have a guy who throws a puppy out of a car window. And now Killer Fool tracks him down to his home. What type of man throws a puppy out of a car window? The answer is the type of man who also beats his wife. Killer Fool murders the guy, and then the bruised wife thanks him. Okay, these are examples of people, of characters, viewing his actions as a good thing. Well, he also took gang money and donated it to homeless shelters. And all of this is again viewed as a good thing. They have started calling him a vigilante instead of a psycho. I don't know. I went into this issue with that point in mind, that Steve Gerber doesn't present any clear opinion on the actions of Killer Fool. This one definitely does. Throughout the series, he has people offer and presenting many different opinions on Killer Fool. What are people talking about? Do they need an essay at the back of every issue, where Steve Gerber carefully explains each facet of this nuanced take on revenge and vigilantism. It is still a good series, but as I often do, I come away from it finding the majority of comic book readers stupid. I'll give it 7 thumbs up.